Take your place, cause you're the best. Oh, you're the savior. Oh, baby, oh, oh. And I'm just running. Oh, you're the boy. I really like you. You're my baby. You are my Lord. You're the savior. Amen, amen, amen. Oh, I don't know what to say at this point. I am short of words. Oh, cause your beauty has beautified me. You God. Is it more that you're the same God? From with me, oh, this God, you are too good to be true, but you're true. Ancient of days, now so much you are. You know the game, you know the plan to change your you're the same God, oh, baby. Amen, amen, amen. Oh, I know Johnny, man, I see.
Hey everyone, how you doing? Good evening, wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you are. It's Sunday evening where I am, and it's time to connect. All right, it's great to have everyone here. Thank you so much for joining us. I can see some activity on Facebook, I see some activity on LinkedIn, and I see some activity on YouTube. All right, so this is what I'd like for you to do. I'd like you to send me a message, Quinette. Great to have you join us. I'd like to tell me what platform you're joining from, so that we'll be able to know. Juxtapose, I can see Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Let me know what platform that you're joining us from. It's super great to be here. Thank you. Do share this video right now so you can get as many people, your friends, your enemies, if you like, to join us right now. It's Ask All, Tell All Q&A session of the Connect. And first of all, let me say this to everyone out there. It's been a while. I've been off for a number of weeks now, a couple of weeks. I was on just after the LPC conference, which was about 2 weeks ago, and then I was off last weekend due to engagements. Let me just leave it at that, due to engagements. So I'm really excited to be back today to spend time with you right here on the Connect. All right, so shout out to everyone who's had an amazing year thus far. This is the last Sunday in the month of November, the last Sunday, before the final and ultimate month of the year, December, which happens to be, for very obvious reasons, the best month of the year. And really, I mean, that's not debatable now, is it? All right, so good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening to everybody joining us. Good evening, good evening. So this is what we're going to do today. We're having a Q&A session. It's an Ask All, Tell All session. Thank you very much, Yemak. It's great to be back. And we're dealing with questions today. Now, everywhere I go, people throw questions at me. You want to find out something, my thoughts on this and my thought on that. And I said, why don't I have an episode dedicated solely to answering questions? All right, so this is what will happen. We have some questions that have been sent in prior to this live session, and they've been uploaded. But I still want to ask those of you that are joining us online right now, if there's any question you want to ask about anything, really. I mean, I'm not saying that I have all the, but I will tell you from my heart. Sam Ibe, it's great to have you. It's great to have you join us. All right. I'm going to be speaking from my heart. So if there are questions with regards to leadership, career, performance, whatever it is, if there's anything, if you're a newcomer or a first timer on the episode, great, 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 then maybe you can flow along and know what questions to trade. Or there are questions you really just need answers to. What direction to do take as regards to something that you're about to take a decision on, or whatever it is. What I commit to you is that I will share from my heart what my thoughts are, and if any of your questions fall within the place of my experience, my knowledge, my thoughts, then I'll give to you that which has worked for me, or that which I consider will most likely, probably work for you as well. So it promises to be an amazing episode, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. So great, 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 great audience we're having so far. Thank you so much, everyone. Facebook is taking the lead. I can see an activity on YouTube. YouTube is on, and I see some activity on LinkedIn as well. All right, great, 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 great. So we're going to get to it. Questions, questions, questions. We have, like I said, I'm going to repeat myself so that we're just clear. If you have questions, that we have. All right, within the 1 hour time frame that we have, I'll take as many questions as we can. But questions that have been sent in the course of days today, from a number of people I've come across, I've interacted with in the course of the week, and so those questions have been uploaded, and I will be taking them in no particular order. So, as if you have your questions, do post them, and we'll be sharing some of these questions. Some of these questions are not even very nice. Can you guys ask nice questions? That'll be good. Will you guys ask nice questions? All right, so I'm going to start out with the questions that have been preloaded, and we'll take that to see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, so this is the first question that we have today, and this says, "What is your biggest motivation in life and career?" Biggest motivation in my life and my career. Well, to answer this question to the person, wonderful question to the person that sent this in, I think I will say that my biggest motivation in life and career has always been the drive to simply be the best that I can be. Understanding there's a vision that I have, and there are many assignments that tie into that vision, and simply just being the best at executing those assignments. And that for me has been the biggest driver. It has been what has led me to push beyond just a one-step performance, a two-step performance, a three-step performance, to push all the way to seven-step performance. It's what makes me double check everything I do. It's what makes me commit my best to what I do. It's what makes me seek to build competency and to expand my capacity. It's what pushes me to keep, running, to keep walking the pathway of champion. It's what pushes me to drive to seek knowledge. All right, that helps me be able to accelerate my journey, my path along the journey to mastery. It's what just motivates me to get up every morning, knowing that look, there has to be a better way that I can get things done, a better way that I can deliver on an outcome, a better way that I can deliver an assignment, and that for me is the biggest motivation. And of course, tied to that motivation is obviously the one that has given the vision. And if you've listened to me long enough, that's God. And then the enablers that He has placed in my life to ensure that that vision comes to fruition, which are the relationships that I have. And every relationship serves as a bedrock or as a pedestal to give to me what I can learn and what I can learn not to be. So, as I always will say, in every situation, you will either learn what to do or you learn what not to do. But learn, I will. And so, that for me is really the biggest motivation, just wanting to be the best at all I can do. And it's from everything from how I think, so I task myself to be able to think through a matter. Many times I've been accused of being analytical. There are times that some of the closest people to me, or perhaps one of the closest persons to me, every time that we get into some sort of arguments and stuff, she says, Anekan, this is not a law court. Anekan, you're not a lawyer. Anekan, I'm not, this is not, because I tend to be very analytical. I tend to try to break things down. I tend to push myself to, try and get, no, this, there must be an implication to this. This must have, I don't just believe that things just come or things just happen. I try to understand, and my seeking to understand is what just releases me to, the other side of seeking to understand is that you get to understand. So when you seek to understand, you get to understand. The more that you get to understand, the more mastery that you develop in whatever it is that you seek to understand, and the more you're able to apply that which you understand. And when you're able to apply it, you're able to get the kinds of results that you desire, because understanding itself allows you to be able to change what you need to change, to be able to reflect on what you need to reflect, to be able to adapt what you need to adapt, and all of that. So that just makes it really, really, interesting. So yeah, that's the motivation for me. Same for my career, and also when I don't get the kind of results that I want, I'm not one to bicker. I'm not one known to complain. I'm not one known to. And honestly, for those that have worked with me, whether socially or corporately, I'm not one to complain no more. I simply look for the reason why it's not working, and because of the motivation to deliver the best excellently, to deliver the best excellently, right? It just pushes me to just give it my best. All right, so thank you very much for that question. I'm gonna, like I said, if you have questions, please just type them in the comment section. I will take the comment section. Imeno, it's great to have you here. And Imeno, we're still counting down to the birthday. It's not yet the birthday. We're still counting down to the birthday. We're still some, how many days now? We're still some 23 days or so to the birthday. So yeah, we'll be there in a bit. Okay. Next question that we have uploaded. I'm waiting to also get questions from the live audience. Questions to upload. Okay, so next question is, and by the way, these questions, like I was just saying to someone just a little while ago, this I haven't reflected on this question. So I'm seeing these questions and I'm reading them to you. So don't think I have a prepared answer or anything. No. Okay, so this question says, what are your strengths and weaknesses? Hey. Okay, so let's start with weaknesses, right? Because if you can deal with your weaknesses, then you don't have a problem acknowledging your strengths. Because far too often we tend to focus on our strengths, and we try to minimize our weaknesses. But I always say to people that you really need to pay attention to your weaknesses. Your weaknesses are indication of the things that you need to strengthen. All right. So what are my weaknesses? I think that as much patience as I have, I can also have quite a bit of impatience. So I'm also trying to learn, and I'm not perfect, guys. I'm also trying to learn to be a bit more patient, a bit more accommodating. You know what they say, you know how they say that we don't suffer fools. I have very low tolerance for mediocrity, very low tolerance for people that don't apply themselves, very low tolerance for people that don't think on their feet. And the outcome of that is that, well, I have tried to improve in that area by learning to teach. Teaching itself requires patience. And so I learned to teach. I realized that it was my big brother and my mentor Fela Drutu that said to me many years ago that the things that irritate you most serve as an indication of where your purpose lies. And the reason why it irritates you is because you've been called to provide a solution in that area. Many people that have heard my story over many years ago heard that, when I was growing up as a little kid, one of the things that intrigued me was how people communicated, how people spoke, how they were able to pass across information. So much so that if my senior sister at that time was reporting a case to my mom and she wasn't reporting it properly, like you're giving the gist, and the gist has the juice. Do you understand what I'm saying? The gist has the juice, and you're not saying it the way that you should say it. I will go and report the case. Did you get that? report the case. And so I discovered that there was something in the area of communication, and much more than communication, strategic communication for me. Because as much as it irritated me, for people not to be able to say things, or not, if you get on, if you get on the phone call with me and you start talking sluggishly, I get very, like, what is, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. And many times, that impatience, I think it's a weakness in a way, but I'm working on it, I'm developing it, I'm learning to be a bit more patient. What other weaknesses do I have? Um, Sometimes I think I tend to forget self, and I'll tell you why. I think and this is a very, very, guys, I'm being very vulnerable here, so please. I think I tend to forget self sometimes, in the sense that I can get so involved with what I'm doing, and I forget to eat. Now, that's not a good thing. For a lot of people, you might not even, but you see, I've also come to learn that I must take care of this vessel, right? For this vessel to be able to deliver value to you. I put something up on my Facebook. Yeah, it was Facebook yesterday or so, and I was talking about the power of rest. How rest is not just, you don't walk to rest. You don't walk through the weekend so that you can rest. You actually rest on the weekend so that you can walk. So the perspective of seeing rest, or replenishment, or renourishment, or regeneration, or replenishment, the concept of seeing that from the right perspective changed everything for me. I'm the kind of person that could go the whole day and take meetings, and from one engagement, and I can have a very grueling, I do have a very grueling schedule, and I could go from one thing to the other and not even have a meal for the day. And many times when it catches up with me, you know how it is. If you don't take time to rest, your body will remind you to rest. And if your body is reminding you to rest, trust me, it's not taking into consideration the things that you consider as priority. It will shut you down. So I'm also learning now to be able to give more attention to myself, to be more intentional about how I rest, how I take care of myself. I've recently, over the past 5 months or so, 4 months to 5 months or so, been on a diet. And for a lot of people that have seen me recently, they've been like, "Oh my God, you've lost weight, you've done this, you've done this." And for me, that was also part of me beginning to pay attention to myself. There's a way I wanted my body to be. There's a way I want it to be. There's a way I want to function, it required that I maintain a certain BMI. It required that I watch the kind of food that I take. It required that I watch the kind of drinks, and the kind of my sugar level and everything, the kind of things I consume, the amount of the hours I sleep, the kind of rest I take, the kind of recreation that I undergo, so that I can fall. And the idea of all of that is not in rest itself. The idea of all of that is not just in watching what I eat. It's for a reason. It's so that I can deliver better on my assignments. I can be healthier to perform, to meet all my engagements, speaking engagements, all my consultancy, everything that I have to do, my day job, every single thing that I have to do, to be at my peak, so that I'm functioning optimally, both physically and mentally. And so it's key to me. So those weaknesses are those are the things I consider as my weaknesses. And if there's any that I can think of again, I'll come back to it. In the area of strength, well, I think quite a number of things go for me in the area of strength. First of all, I'm a deep thinker. I tend to analyze things and break them down. I seek to understand things, and so I think that's an area of strength. I'm blessed with the gift of God, and so I have the um, ability to be able to communicate, and so I'm able to channel and transmit ideas in a way that make them receivable, and not just receivable, but in a way that also gets people to be able to act on them. And so I get certain results based on stemming from my ability to communicate. I'm also someone that has very high resilience, a high level of tenacity and mental grit. And so when I'm committed to something, my goodness, I am committed to it. I will follow through to the very end. What else will I consider as my strength? Yeah, also the ability to listen. And I think that's something that comes with the nature of the career path that I've taken, the ability to be able to listen. And trust me, in every situation, whether I like what you're saying or I don't, I'm actually paying attention. At the point of you're saying it, you may think I'm not paying attention, but I actually pay attention, and then thereafter I go to process it. Now I'm fully aware that some people don't pay attention, and even if they do, they don't go to process it thereafter. So I consider that as a strength for me, the ability to communicate, the ability to teach, the ability to seek to understand, the ability to listen not passively but actively, and the ability to recognize and spot the best in people. And so that's also a gifting that I've had from when I was younger. I can just listen to someone and immediately recognize the potentials in them, see the possibilities that we can do to them, which is tied to the calling that I have as a light, a voice, and a bridge. So it enables me to be able to recognize and optimize situations that require my preference solutions to them. So those are the things I consider as my strengths and as my weaknesses. There could be more. There could be more, but then again, off the top of my head, this is what I have. Okay, so let's take yet another question. I'm still waiting for more questions from a live audience. Um, okay, so I have this now. This is not quite a question. It's a comment. Okay, I guess we can make a question out of it. It says, I'm at the stage of my life where I'm confused, I'm practically lost, not knowing what exactly to go for. So I guess the question here is, what do I do? What do you do? What do you do at the stage of your life when you're confused and practically lost and not knowing what exactly to go for? Um, well, first things first. Here's the thing: we're faced with a myriad of options in life. As we go through life, as we go day to day, there are many things that present to us. Confusion itself is an indication of the lack of prioritization. Prioritization comes from the ability to know thyself and what thyself is configured for. Now, many times I say to people, and I say that you are wired to win and you're equipped to excel. But for you to understand that and for you to be able to apply that, many times when I say that to people, people say, "Amen, awesome, I'm equipped to excel." But then again, you need to know what assignment you're equipped for, and you need to know what your equipments are, and you need to know how to use those equipments. So, how to use those equipments starts first of all from the place of knowing what assignment you're equipped for, which starts from knowing who you are and what your place is in the scheme of things, in the space that you occupy, in the world that you're in. And so when someone says, and the person that sent this in, male or female, when you say to me that you're at the stage of your life where you're confused, I will say to you, first of all, you need to understand who you are, where you are confused. The question is, who are you? Because you need to know who you are to be able to know what is applicable to you and what is not. You need to know who you are to know what path you should take and what path you shouldn't take. You need to know who you are to be able to know what battles you should fight and what battles you shouldn't fight. You need to know who you are to know the kind of route that is suitable for you, the kind of channel that is suitable for you, and the kind of channel that is not suitable for you. You need to know who you are so you can rightly appropriate the resources that you have available to you. The resources will be in terms of, and the primary resource, like I've said many times, the greatest resource that we have as human beings are relationships. And knowing who you are will determine the kind of relationships that you have. The kind of relationships that you have is will determine the kind of experience that you have. The experience that you have will determine the kind of outcomes that you have in life. Now, if we now take that with the statement that was made by this person, this question, what do I do in this kind of thing? Understand yourself first. Once you understand yourself, half of the issues are sorted. Then begin now to see the things that you're gravitated towards. Understand purpose. Understand what you're wired with. Understand your giftings. understand your talents, and then understand what it is that, number one, you are innately passionate about, and number two, the things, like I said earlier, that irritate you the most, the things that annoy you the most. As a leader, for example, in an organization or in a system, your leadership style is based on your understanding of who you are and how best to be able to deploy the kind of passion and the skills that you have. That will now determine how you nurture the relationships that you have, which will serve in your interaction with the people that you're leading and will manifest in the outcome of the quality of the leadership that you give. Did you get that? All right. So if you don't know who you are, chances are that you're going to be very confused about a lot of things. Not everything. I'm not called to everything. It's not everything that I do. It's not every option that I take. I say many times that the clarity of your vision enables you to be able to go on the journey to attain that vision. And the clarity doesn't only energize you, the clarity also tells you what is expedient and what is not, what is necessary and what is not, what is priority and what is not. And I've said many times before that priority is not what you feel good about, it's not what is necessarily convenient to do, it's not what you feel nice to do. Priority is really what you can't do without. And so you need to know you to know what you can't do without. So that's where it starts from. And so if you come to the place of self-awareness, it comes to the place of self-understanding, and you're able to understand yourself to the point that you begin to understand how you relate, how your interaction with the world around you. Understand that you are a system within a system. So your space, the world, your job, your school, your career, everything around you is a system. You yourself, you are a system in a system. The understanding of the system that you are is what allows you to fit in perfectly into the system around you in such a way that your fitting in or your interaction or your engagement with the system around you delivers the best outcome for you. Think about it. All right. So that's for um this question. So I really do hope that you find some clarity in that area. I really hope that for the person that sent this in, I really hope that you take time. It doesn't matter how far you've gone in whatever journey that you're in. There's little you can achieve. There's little you can attain effectively and efficiently. You may get certain results, but you will spend too much to get those results. That's not being efficient. All right. So you need to know yourself and know what to deploy to be optimal. And the key is to be optimal. The key is not to be mediocre. The key is not to be threshold. The key is to be differentiating. The key is to be the best of you, is to deliver the best outcome, is to recognize the opportunities around you, is to utilize the opportunities around you, and is to maximize the opportunities around you. And that's what delivers, the best you. So coming from a place of your confusion, start with knowing yourself. It's very, very important. It's critical to every other experience that you have. All right. So, and I hope that answers your question. Okay. So let me see. So we have a question. Woo! Um, okay. So this is a lengthy one. This is a lengthy one. A lengthy one. This question says questions. Okay, let me take a bit from this and go to some other questions that come up. How did you know this path you're on was where you should follow? Were there, I believe that were there dissenting voices both from within and without? How did you bring them under control? Okay, this is also similar to another question. Chiranka, thank you for this question. This is also similar to another question somebody asked that was uploaded. So let me take this first question. How did I know that this was what I was called to do? Okay, it started with, to be very candid, it started with giving the right amount of attention to myself. So even growing up as a little kid, I was very inquisitive. I wasn't as expressive as I am now. I remember, and for those of you that have known me for a while, I remember saying one time that my grandmother would always look at me and say, "This one's face is always in the book," meaning that she wasn't hearing my voice. I wasn't chitty chatty like other kids. I wasn't. I was really quite quiet. Quite frankly, I'm still very quiet. Mm. But yeah, so but how I knew was by paying attention to myself. And like I said just a few minutes ago, by paying attention to myself, I was able to discover the things I was wired for. I was able to come to an understanding of the things that intrigued me. I was able to ask questions as regards to things I didn't understand, but I felt a bit connected to. And so my level of self awareness showed me clearly what direction I was going to be in. So I knew that everything I will do will have to do with communication. I knew that. So whether I was going to be in banking, whether I was going to be in the finance world, whether I was going to be in strategic leadership, whatever area that I was in, whether I was going to be in church, whatever area I was going to function with, that a lot of what I was going to do, or everything I was going to do, was going to be hinged heavily on communication. And then in now discovering that, I had to now ask myself, what exactly was I supposed to communicate, and how exactly was I supposed to communicate it? And that was when the unfolding of the concept of the light, the voice, and the bridge came over the years of inquisition, over the years of trying to understand, over the years of seeking to, ask questions, to seek answers to them, which positioned me to knock on the door of opportunities and all. And so that's how I knew that I was going to be somebody that will be helping people come to the best version of themselves. That's how I knew I was going to be somebody that was going to be able to be dealing with strategic communications with organizations, helping them to understand my major work. I mean, if you talk about a light, it's to give illumination. If you talk about a voice, it's to give sound and clarity. If you talk about a bridge, it's to connect. So my primary assignment, albeit multiple, my primary goal or vision, albeit multiple assignments, was to be able to get people to understand the things they needed to apply to help them deliver on the mandates that they had as concerning their lives, their career, their relationships, and all of that. And it's been an interesting journey so far. Were there dissenting voices? Absolutely. The first thing I had to deal with was get enough understanding of what I needed to know so I could build confidence. And I've always said this many times. I said that confidence delivers understanding delivers confidence to you. When you understand a thing, you have confidence. When you're confident about a thing, you know something so much that nobody can come and tell you that it's not. You can't wake me up in the middle of the night and tell me my name is what my name is not. If you woke me up at 2 a.m. in the morning and asked me for my name, I'll tell you my name because I know my name, because I've grown with my name. I believe in my name. I understand my name. I have owned my name. All right. So I'm confident about the fact that that is my name. If somebody came to them and said, "No, your name is Joseph," I'll be like, "No, that's not my name." All right. So in the same way, the things that had to do with my career, had to do with my path, were things that I first of all sought to understand, and that gave me confidence. And that with that confidence, I was able to now come against any dissenting voice. I was able to stand up to things that otherwise spoke contrary to what I was believing in. And I say this to many people many times. You can believe in anything, but be responsible enough to believe in the right thing. And the way that you know that you believe in the right thing is if you've sought to understand fully that which you believe. And because I sought to understand that which I believe, I didn't just take something that was handed to me. It was something that I turned up on its head over and over again, broke it down, put it back together, took ownership of it so I could have the power to innovate with it, all right, which is the journey of mastery, which is the process of becoming, okay. I was able to stand against voices or anything or people that didn't even believe in the vision of what I was doing at that time. And there were many people then that said, "Oh, you know what, let's just see how long this will go for." And many years after, there'll be people that are saying, "Wow, man, you're the best thing since life is, man, I like how you do this, man, you're good at what you do." But so imagine if I had not known enough about what my assignment was and I paid attention to them, where do you think I'll be today? What kind of light will I be? I'll probably be like a dim light. All right. I'll probably be like a dim light. What kind of voice will I be? I'll be a weak voice. What kind of bridge will I be? I'll be a bridge without capacity that no one can transmit over. So confidence from understanding is what enabled me to be able to stand against stuff, and whether within or without. So confidence fought within, and confidence was also my shield for dissenting voices without. All right. Okay. So let's see what other questions have been. All right. Let me see this. This is from. I'm going to come back to the questions from Chiamaka. Let me look at these questions from Blessed. Dr. Blessed. It's great to have you here. Um, did you ever feel like you eventually have to choose between your day job and your speaking career? If you did, what were your major fears and how did you navigate? Okay, okay. Did you ever feel? Okay, so here's the thing. I think my contentment in life really has come from the fact that everything I do points in one direction. And so even on the what we call the day job here, still has to do with the things I speak about are the things I do on my day job. And so when I speak about it, I speak about the things I do, which is the best way to speak, which is the best fortification for speaking. And yes, I do know the time has actually come where transition, where there will be. Now, my idea is that I will build things to a point whereby my speaking engagement becomes the entirety of me because this is what I was actually born to do. Every other thing along the way, Dr. Blessing and everyone, was designed to equip me to make me a stronger, a brighter light, a stronger voice, and a more sturdy bridge. So every part of my career, whether in the bank, whether in the NGO, whether in revenue lifecycle management, whether in healthcare financing, was adding in one way or the other to one, my capacity, two, to my competency to delivering not just speeches. No, I don't just speak, but to providing a light, a voice, and a bridge to a generation that requires it. So, yes. And of course, there were times where you had all those kind of conflicts. Okay, you have engagements during the week. It was also a question of priority. What do I need to do in the now? Many times, you will have to do what you have to do before you can begin to do what you like to do. But if you don't do what you have to do, chances are that you will not build the capacity to begin to do what you like to do. So the process of becoming, I've learned over time that every single part of my story, I say it with no, with I say it with my full chest, as is said in local parlance. There is no part of my story, no part of my career that I regret. Everything is a learning curve. Everything has served. I've been graced to be able to be in career paths that have added to me and have given me an advantage. Did you get that? That have added to me and have given me an advantage. And I say to people many times that regardless of what you're doing now, regardless of where you are, regardless of what desk you're on, there's something there that is giving you something that will deliver on your vision. All you have to do is understand what you're doing, understand what that job is in this on the timeline of your life, understand the value that that job delivers to you, in the timeline of your life. What are my major fears and how did I navigate? Now, is that question related to the first part or this is a second part? Well, my major fear had always been that sometimes I think I'm ahead of my time and quite frankly ahead of my world. There are many things that have come to me, even from way back to now, that I wanted to do, but I just felt like, you know what, space wasn't ready for it. Time wasn't ready for it. Those that have known me from university will know that there's nothing new about the things I'm doing now. There were things I was doing then. I could have launched out then, but I had the fear that it wasn't yet time. Maybe it wasn't yet time, but I also know that my launching out then wasn't from the understanding that it wasn't time, but from the fear that it wasn't time. And so for me, I had to be able to build, keep on doing the things that add to it. And this is to everybody out there. Let me just say this very quickly. Sometimes, understand this, your dreams are not invalid. Just because you are not in the smart center of your dream right now does not invalidate your dream. What you have to do now is look for the pebbles around you, look for the resources around you, look for the experience around you in your everyday that can help serve, help build a part of you that will make you take stronger steps in the journey of mastery, in the journey of becoming, and which is what I did as at that time. So I hope that answers that question. Let me go back to, we have, my goodness, we have loads and loads of questions here. Um, woo. Okay, it's in book. Hi, it's great to have you here. It's in book says, let me try and bring this up. Woo. Etimuk says, please, how do you make people understand that you're in a season of your life where you need to spend time to develop your mind enough? I will say that you're in a season where you need to set apart yourself to grow. Okay, let me look at the full message. All right. How do you make them understand that you're not ignoring them, but you just have to give them that space to grow? All right, great. Fantastic question, Itimbo. Yeah, great to have you join us today. Fantastic question. Okay, how do you make people understand that you're in a season of your life? First of all, you have to be very protective of your seasons. Everybody know that. Write that down. You have to be very protective of your seasons. Your ability to discern your seasons, your time and seasons, can be one of the greatest gifts that God has given to you. The ability to discern times and seasons will determine in many regards your experience upon the face of the earth. It will determine in many regards your manifestation or your becoming. What happens is that when you have now discerned that time and that season, you have to decide to whom you are going to be communicating that time and that season to. Not everybody, and let me be clear about this, Timber, not everybody has a right to know what time and season that you're at. You only have those that are godly butlers. There are many kinds of relationships. You have confidence, you have constituents, you have comrades. Comrades are those that fight what you fight, but don't like what you like. Constituents are those that like what you like, but don't fight what you fight. Confidence are those that are with you because of you. Now, if you pour out your heart to a comrade, that's trouble, because a comrade fights who you fight or is against what you're against, but has no issues liking someone else. So those are open doors to people that could hurt you. Same with a constituent. They like what you like, but they have no issues with what you don't like. And so, because they're also connected to people with different values from you, they are also an open door for people with wrong values come to you. Confident are those that are with you because of you. They stand with you with your values, and they stand against what you stand against. Those are the only people that you owe any kind of explanation to. And I'm saying that because I've been there before. All right. Those are the only people that you owe any kind of explanation to. So, what happens in this instance, and I need you to get this very clearly, what happens in this instance is that you have to honor yourself enough. The person who is able to not set up boundaries is someone that does not respect himself and the vision that he has enough. You must honor the assignments that you have enough to be able to set boundaries when it comes to people, recognizing when you have to draw back. I mean, if you look at the Bible story, you look at the story of Jesus, there were times that Jesus set himself apart. He did not, much as people wanted. You think that all those times that Jesus, for instance, went away and went by himself and took a few people and went by himself, you think people didn't want to come and be with him? You think there were people that didn't want to spend their whole day with him? So you must find time to be able to unplug. You must find time to be able to detach yourself. I say many times that the most powerful time I have before any speaking engagement is the quiet time. Those that are with me just before I speak know this. The people that are driving me, the people that are sitting down, the people that are my PA, they know that the most powerful time before any speaking engagement that I have is my quiet time. And because I've been able to define that very clearly, it's okay. You think I'm ignoring you. It's not, the fact that you think I'm ignoring you is not more important than my assignments. The fact that you choose, I have a responsibility to communicate to those that I should communicate to. But if I communicate to you and you choose not to understand, it is not as important as the assignment that I have. And my withdrawing and unplugging to charge up and to build up, to recreate. You've heard of, so many times you hear of recreation. Oh, we're going to have recreational activities. It's such a powerful word that we don't even think a lot about. Recreation means that you are rebuilding. I took a series a couple of months ago. It was called the re-engineering series. All right. And many times re-engineering is very drastic. So now the time that you take away to recreate is so important to your assignment that how I feel about it cannot be more important than it. And a priority is what you can't do without. And you can't do without your time to rebuild yourself for your assignment. It simply means that you're rebuilding or you're unplugging to learn and to build up yourself is more important than what anybody thinks. So what happens many times is that we prioritize people's view of us and what they will say, and in many regards how they will feel over the assignment that we have. Focus on your assignment. As they say, everything will be fine last. Focus on your assignment. You have a responsibility to communicate. No doubt about that. I said that earlier. You have a group and a set of people to which you have a responsibility to communicate. You have a group and a set of people to which you have a responsibility to carry along. But other than that, what's most important is the assignment that you have. If anything trumps that assignment, it means that you have misprioritized what you should have prioritized or what you shouldn't have given priority to. And then you will suffer for it in the long run. And then the same people will be the ones to walk all over you, jettison you, and just move away. Do you understand that? So that's very, very key. That's very, very key. Honor yourself, respect yourself. Honor yourself is finding time to do what has to be done. Honoring yourself is setting the right kind of boundaries that you should have. Honoring yourself is getting the right kind of rest that you should get. Honoring yourself is seeking to build capacity and learn that you should have. Honoring yourself is ensuring that you're well prepared to deliver on your assignment. Honoring yourself is that you learn how best to use the equipment that you've been given to excel. Honoring yourself is ensuring that you are rightly wired to win. Honoring yourself is being the best that you can be. Honoring yourself is being a voice above the noise. So I hope that helps you. Let's go to other questions now. My goodness, your questions are pouring in. I can't even go to the questions that were uploaded. I'm seeing so many questions. Okay, let me go back to I promised I was going to come back to Chiamaka's question. All these people that have loaded questions. Okay, so let's see that. Um, what has been your greatest challenge in being a leader? Your greatest challenge, my greatest challenge in being a leader. Leadership is about influence and your ability to influence right, which gets people to bring their best to the table. That's what leadership is. And every time that you can't get people to bring the best to the table because you're not influencing them right, it means that there's a problem somewhere. And if there's a problem somewhere, it means that you either don't have what it takes to influence right, or you're not deploying the necessary channel to influence right. Having said all of that, that was just like the starter for the answer. Having said all of that, my greatest challenge in being a leader truly has been many times being able to decide if what I've done is enough. And many regards, and I'm being very sincere with you, being able to decide if um, how much more access should be given to a person, because if you can't have leadership without accessibility. You can't have leadership without relationship. You can't have leadership without influence, and influence will come from the myriad of relationships, and relationship is hinged on access. And many times you have to be able to decide the kind of access that people have to determine if that's what works best for them. So for me, the greatest challenge has been in many regards determining how much access do I give to somebody supposedly showing leadership to. Deciding at what point in time to be able to either nip in the board, like Kenny Rogers said, with knowing when to fold it, knowing when to let it go. And it's not that it's an absolute challenge. It's something that I keep learning over time. I've gotten better with. But for me, that has been really my greatest challenge, determining in many regards levels of access. Because people will show themselves. People are people, all right? And they say the greatest, the toughest type of team or the toughest set to lead, toughest asset to have in any organization, just as any organization will tell you that their greatest assets are people. People are also the greatest challenges that could be in any system, not technology, not policies, not people. Could be the greatest challenge you have in any system. So, knowing how best to appropriate access to people at different levels, knowing that they all have different trappings, different backgrounds, different ideologies, different perspectives, different experiences, could be has been for me my greatest challenge. But these are things that I've succumbed over time. These are things that I've learned to work better with, and I've evolved, and I dare say significantly over time. All right. Let's see that again. Okay, so there's one question that we have. How do you refuel? Okay, so I can't bring this up because it's on the lower part of the screen, so you will not be able to see it on the screen. So I'll just read it to your hearing. How do you refuel considering all that you do? The concept of rest. So first of all, I enjoy what I do. So I try as much as possible. Number one, to understand what I do. It allows me to have the right perspective of what I do. So I'm not enduring what I do. I'm enjoying what I do. I refuel by understanding that rest is part of the process to attaining victory. So my perspective of rest and refueling is entirely different from the way a lot of people do it. I also refuel by taking either shifting focus from that to looking at the things that will make the other things I do work. So many times I take the focus off the assignments I have, and I take the project called me, this assignment called Anekan, called AU, and I focus on the assignment called AU. And so I recharge me by focusing on me, by fixing what needs to be fixed, which releases me to deliver better on the other things that I do, on the assignments which I do. So that ultimately, there are three levels of things. There's first level is what you do, second level is how you do what you do, third level is who you are. And so the whole idea is that as we get better with all of this, what we do becomes who we are. All right. Okay. Let's see. Um, Let me scroll down to the end. All right. All right. Okay. So we have one question. I think it's going to come as a tickler because it was a bit long. So it's going to come as a tickler. Let me go to the comment section and see that now. Um, okay. So it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. All right, so you can read that. I had to put that as a ticker. It says scrolling at the bottom of the screen. It says you're given an exclusive gift of one click on a time machine to go back in time and change two decisions made in the past. What two parts would you take differently? Woo! First of all, I have to pause and think about that one for a bit. So, in other words, what to go back in time and change two decisions in time past? Frankly speaking, I think one of those decisions will have been not perhaps not starting my speaking career earlier and not building a business around my speaking career earlier. I've built a business around it now, but not building a business around my speaking career earlier. I wish I'd built a business, not just a passion, but I'd built a business way earlier around my speaking career, so that by now we'll probably be having academies with branches, that will serve as a greater channel, which is a desire that I have and something that will happen by the grace of God, to serve as a light, a voice, and a bridge to many people that will come to the four walls of our academy. Because I realize I have a gift, and I realize that I've been blessed to understand the gift, and the gift is never for me. The gift is never for you. The gifts that you have, that you've been given, are meant to be given. You are given a gift so that you can give. Somebody write that down. You are given a gift so that you can give. You are given you are blessed so you can be a blessing. And so I realized very early that the gift that I have was never meant for me. Because I've made a fortune with me. All right. And I've made some significant fortune with it. But then again, it was meant to be delivered to a generation. But you can't deliver a gift to a generation without a structure. And many times that structure has to be commercial so that it can reach further than what you as an entity, as a person. How many places can I be at? How many speaking engagements can I be? If let me say this with all humility, if you invite me and I'm physically at your speaking engagement, bless the name of the Lord, because there are many other invitations where I can't be there physically, and there's nothing I can do about it. So a lot of the things I do these days are virtual, and I'm probably still paid the same. But it does it's a structure. If I built a structure earlier, now there's a structure in place. But if I built a structure earlier, I would have done much more in reaching way more people and building way more people and being a light to way more people and being a voice and a bridge to way more people than I've been blessed to be over this many years. And so that's one decision I wish I'd taken earlier. A second decision will have been um, I have to think about that one, quite frankly, guys. I have to think about what that second one will be. I'm also trying not to get too personal. I'm also trying not to get too personal. There are some decisions like this that I know that I should not say, but I don't want to. I don't want to get personal. I don't want to get personal. So whoever sends that question, it is well. In time, as you discern, I will speak about these things and you will learn. Just keep watching the connect. Okay, let me jump back to the live audience now. I'm seeing new uh questions. Guys, we're supposed to have rounded this thing up by 8 o'clock. It's 3 minutes, and you're still sending in questions on the different platforms. Hey, Joe, now help me now. Okay, let me see. Maybe I just take two more questions. Two more questions, and we'll be done for the night. Two more questions. Two more questions. Let me check the uploaded questions and see if we have two more that we can take there. Okay. How have you improved on your weaknesses? Okay, I already answered that one. I actually answered when I was like this. Okay, so there's this question that I just saw now. Sir, please, at times when you feel like giving up on a dream, what do you do? Ooh, ooh. Here's the thing. Hear me now, please hear me real good. I will say this again. The clarity. Where's the camera? This is the camera. Okay, I'm looking straight at the camera. The clarity of your vision energizes you to deploy a mission that delivers that vision to you. What that means is that you must seek to understand what your dream is. And that's the antidote to giving up on that dream. The understanding of your dream lets you know whether it is something worth pursuing or not. It's a belief that you have inside of you that nobody can take away from you. See who I am, what I do, nobody on earth can change that. The day that I give up this breath, nobody can change me off the course of my assignment. That's why I will not do anything that shifts me, takes me like a plane that goes off alignment, that will take me off. Check it. Every single thing that I do points to who I am. And that's only because my vision, to a certain degree, is very clear. Now, many times, and I need you to understand this, many times, when you feel like giving up on your dream, it's because the darkness and the pain of now has blotted out the light and the brightness of tomorrow. Never forget what sparked within you when the vision was birthed in you. Many times as human beings, we forget. And when we forget, we begin now to give, because nature abhors a vacuum. Because we forget, our minds are now filled with things that don't necessarily align or speak to the strength of our vision. And so that's why your focus has to be laser on. Your focus has to be like white on rice. And I'm not talking about brown rice. So like white on rice. You have to be so stuck, so committed to your vision. And the commitment to your vision is not blind. The commitment to your vision comes from your understanding of your vision. Your understanding is what keeps you on that path. Your understanding is what wakes you up every morning and keeps you going. Your understanding is what brings you through a storm. Your understanding is what enables you to outlast every storm. So every time that the mere thought of your giving up comes on it, you have to ask yourself, isn't there a reason why I'm doing this? Remember, like David, when David went to the battlefront to meet his brothers, and there was Goliath standing there, and his brothers looked at him and they said, what are you doing here? You this little kid, you this naughty boy, what are you doing here? What did they say to them? David said to them, is there not a cause? And so every time you find yourself in a situation that threatens your ability to hold on to your dream, no matter what that situation is, you have to remind yourself of how much belief you have in that dream, of how clearly you saw that dream, of the cause, the reason for why you understand. That's why they say, look, in everything, I like the how, I like the what, I like the when, but everything that makes that even tenable is the why. The biggest question of your life. Why? Why? And so when you have the why, you know you can't give up. Sometimes you may take a break. Sometimes you could take a detour. Sometimes you may have to do what you have to do to begin to do what you need to do, or sometimes you may need to do what you need to do to begin to do what you like to do. But as long as you know that this that I'm doing is going to deliver me to this that I want to do, that's still you on the course. Sometimes it will be hard, sometimes it will be good, sometimes it will be tough, sometimes it will be nice. But in all of it, you keep on learning. You understand that time is never wasted, because the only time that is wasted is the time that you haven't learned. Because in every situation, you either learn what to do or you learn what not to do. And when you have that perspective, as I've come to have, then you can't give up on your dream, unless it was never your dream in the first place. And so you have to ask yourself, why is this dream important to me? Why is this dream of priority to me? And again, the definition of priority, according to AU, is that priority is that which you can't afford not to do. Priority is that which you can't do without. Why can't I do without this? If I can't do without it, it means that whatever may come my way has to, one way or the other, shifts. Has to shift, because I can't do without this. And so many times, what you require at that time is an understanding of that particular situation, so you know how to respond, not react, but respond to that situation. And you know what respond is? Respond means having the responsibility to manage that situation. Responsibility, a coinage of two, ability and respond. And so you must develop the ability to respond to that situation, so that you can deal with it, take the lessons from it, and keep on going towards your dream. Your dream can't fade away. Your dream can't die. If it's your dream, it has to happen. Because it's because of that dream that you are wired. It's because of that dream that you're equipped. So if you give up on that dream, Please give us back all the equipment and all the giftings and all the graces and all the blessings. Give it back to God, because you were given, and God does not waste. So you were given that equipment for the dream to be fulfilled. You were wired, configured, configured for that dream to be fulfilled. So you can't give up on it. Understand that situation that you're in. It's painful. Seek to understand it. Turn your pain to gain. It's crazy. Hold on just a little bit longer. It's gonna be fine. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy, my friend, comes in the morning. Many things can happen. It can seem like it doesn't make sense. It may seem dark right now, but understand that light shines brightest against the backdrop of darkness. Let ignite the light within you. So if there's no light without you, ignite the light within you and use that light to find your way to the light that is without you. And that for me is really how you deal with times when you feel like giving up on your dream. That's what you do. That's what you do. That's what you do. And I hope this has really blessed somebody. I hope not just for the person asking the question. I hope this has really touched everybody. Um, where it is that they need to be touched. I hope this has really been a blessing, guys. It's 6 minutes past the hour. Usually we close by 8 or around 8 o'clock. So I think I'm gonna pull a plug on it right now. It's been amazing. Thank you for all the questions that have come in. Just in case you sent in a question and haven't treated it, I promise you I'll find the time. We have 3 episodes left this year for the Connect. We have the first episode on the 3rd, the next episode on the 3rd of December. We have a subsequent episode on the 10th of uh, 11th of December. Yeah. And then we have the ultimate episode, the birthday episode. All right. It's my birthday, which is my birthday's on the 20th. But we have the end of year episode, as we always have every year, celebrating my birthday on the 18th of December. All right, so 3 more episodes to go for 2022. Make sure that you're a part of all of them. So I just have one assignment for you as I close. I want everybody online right now. I want you to type one word that describes today's episode. One word. Tell me one word. All right, you can send me a message about things you've learned later, but tell me one word. I want to read from everyone before I close. One word that describes today's episode. So go ahead, send it on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Go ahead, send it to me. One word that describes your experience on today's episode. How today's episode has been delivered to you. One word that most aptly describes today's episode of the Connect. Go ahead. I'm waiting for you to do that. All right. So Chiamaka says, let me put that up. Chiamaka says, mind blowing. RBOKK says, inspiring. Okay. Chiamaka says, mind blowing. All right. Chiamaka says, mind blowing. RBOKK says, inspiring. All right. Quinette says, thank you. So today you've been a blessing for today. One word, though. One word. This is how you feel exam. One word. Sam says, eye-opening. Sam carry 2 words and join together. This is how you know them. All right. Quinette says, mind-blowing again. Okay, so we're having mind-blowing. Amazing. So guys, I'm really insight opener. Okay, so we're getting insight opener. Okay. 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 All right. So guys, thank you so much. I've had such an amazing episode, and looking forward to connecting with you next Sunday. And we promise that the next 3 episodes of the Connect will be simply everything that you've described: insightful, eye-opening, mind-blowing, everything cranial shattering, whatever. It's gonna be awesome. All right, I gotta go now. It's been an amazing time with you. So we meet again next Sunday. Let's connect. Cheers, everyone. And hey, keep walking the path of your champions. Good night.